Steve Arts 89. I disagree with a lot of stuff. I already watched this, but let me start you off.
Oh, Steve Arts 89. Well, this is fast becoming a disaster.
Like what?
James Gunn, in his infinite wisdom, is including Crypto, the Wonder Dog or Super Dog or whatever it's called, in the new
He doesn't even know what it's called. It's weird.
Superman film. Do we need any more proof that this guy is the wrong guy to be rebooting not just Superman, but the whole DC universe?
So adding Crypto is the wrong thing to do. The most iconic super pet ever in comics, pretty much.
He just doesn't get it. He doesn't understand superheroes. I mean,
Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy. Enough said.
His idea of a superhero, his universe, is basically Peacemaker.
And Guardians of the Galaxy.
And if you've seen that show, you would understand why he's the wrong man to be rebooting.
If you've seen Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy, you'll understand he knows his stuff. And Super. Super was a solo superhero movie. That was really good.
This universe. Now, they need a panel of people with different approaches to be looking at all the different characters and how to treat them and deal with them.
Funny you say that, because they do have a writer's team creating the universe. James Gunn mentions it almost constantly. They have a writer's team.
One person doing it all is a mistake in the first place.
It's not only one person.
If they get it wrong, you've just screwed the whole universe and have to start all over again.
Yeah, like the Snyderverse.
If they're just rebooting one character, one film, that would be one thing. You can just move on to another person. It doesn't work. But he's doing the whole thing, and he's got the
No, he's not. Like I said, they have a team.
wrong approach. Every step has been a mistake, from announcing it to changing the name from Superman Legacy, which would have worked, to just Superman, like they're trying to pretend the first film didn't happen or replace.
Superman Legacy wouldn't have worked. Some people, whenever they heard Superman Legacy, that it should have been like their third or fourth movie. Superman movie. And he explained that once he finished the script, he realized it was Superman.
Place it or fool people into thinking there haven't been 5 other Superman films, which is only something a marketing company could come up with that has contempt for the contemporary audience and doesn't want to acknowledge fans and what they know or expect. So
that doesn't make sense. He did acknowledge fans. He added Crypto.
There's that. Then there's the disastrous uniform, costume that looks like bad cosplay that doesn't fit. It's awful.
Of course, you had mentioned that. A lot of criticism on that. You haven't watched any footage at all. Real, actual footage.
Yes, we've heard the excuse they're going to spend a lot of money on CGI to make it look good on screen. How about just create a good costume so you don't have to use CGI to make it look good?
Really? What about Groot? And of course, you don't mention the fact that sometimes it's loose, so then the characters and actors can move around a lot easier. Because I'm pretty sure Henry Cavill had troubles moving around really fast.
Then there was the promo of him in that uniform, which they released. That was a disaster. And then all the leaked shots from the set, because apparently
it was leaked.
He can't manage his own security.
What do you mean manage his own security? It was shot in public. Everyone, and people shot it through windows. You're gonna cover every single window of every single building nearby? What do you mean? James Gunn even mentioned that things that they shot outside, he made sure that those aren't like spoilers. Okay.
And now they're including the Super Dog. I mean, seriously, I never saw Crypto in the comics.
So you never saw it, so you don't know the character that well. So if you don't know the character that well, why are you mentioning you shouldn't add the character that you don't know that well? You personally don't know it, but other people know him pretty well. People are even hyped to see him. That means they're using a more fantasy aspect. Superpowered dog.
And he had like 3 comics, Superman comics when I was a kid, and one was the adaptation of the 3rd film. So I never saw him in the comic, but my understanding is
So your understanding is?
Saves the day, he saves Superman, and it's just...
No. He's with Supergirl too. He keeps Superman like being more human, like he's like a best friend of Superman.
It's too much. They're jumping the super shark, and it's too much. You can only ask so much of the audience.
What do you mean?
There's only so much, disbelief we can suspend.
What do you mean? It's a fantasy thing. There's only so much disbelief you're gonna expend. Tell that to Pokemon. tell that to any anime. Tell that to Dragon Ball Z.
You can't. You can only make one big conceit. Give us one thing we have to believe in. Too many, it just becomes too much.
Not really, because it's the comic book universe. There's so many superheroes in the DC comics. So tell that to the Justice League Unlimited series. They pretty much showed every single DC character.
It doesn't work. That's usually what happens with sequels and TV series as they go on. They keep adding things and it becomes too much. But they normally start off with just one idea that works, and then they just pile on it and ruin it.
We haven't seen the trailer.
But this one, he's starting off with a whole universe full of characters. They're just trying to cram them all in there, and it's...
No. So far, I think there's like 5 superheroes, or like something like a decent like handful, but it's not all of it.
Just everything about this just is wrong. It is not going to work. Now,
how do you know? What's the lottery numbers? Who's gonna be president?
Now, admittedly, he has to compete with this.
He doesn't need to compete with that.
Memory of the perfection that was the Christopher Reeve, Richard Donner Superman, which is a bit unfair because it's a myth at this point.
Yeah.
You can never compete with it, really.
So he says that and says it needs to compete with it.
He's competing with our memories and our feelings. So I get that. I have a little bit of sympathy for him and the job that he's been given, but he's still the wrong man for it. And
how do you know?
He's still doing an awful job of it. Now,
he hasn't released the movie yet.
When they tried to reboot Superman in the early noughts, and they brought on Brandon Routh, or whatever his last name is, I can never pronounce it, they tried to make this an updated continuation, and it was a good film. I enjoyed it. I don't understand why it didn't do as well, and I'm disappointed it didn't get the sequel. I'm glad he got to replay Superman in different multiverse versions in productions, but they tried. I did enjoy them. I honestly cried in the opening credits. It was just the idea that they were going back to the universe and trying to actually continue that universe for us fans without Christopher Reeve. But yeah, James Gunn, no, I just wish he'd stay cancelled.
Wait, what?
James Gunn, no, I just wish he'd stay cancelled.
Oh, you support cancel culture now? Wow, it's crazy. So you actually believe all those stuff about him? That already discredits what you're saying this entire video. If you believe in cancel culture.
I think they got it right. I think that's the guy he is, and the universe he's trying, like his universe, his superhero universe is Peacemaker.
No, it's Guardians of the Galaxy, Peacemaker, Suicide Squad, and the Super, and also he says he produced a lot of the Marvel movies, the Avengers movies. So
that's what he thinks superheroes are. A dirty, nasty joke that you laugh at because you're a dirty, nasty person, Reese.
Guardians of the Galaxy. They're not dirty and nasty in the main characters of Guardians of the Galaxy. And of course, Scooby-Doo, he wrote all the Scooby-Doo movies. But let's just forget about that, right?
And that's what he is, and that's I love Superman. I don't want to see the films. Cavill is good Superman. I'm not a Snyder bro. I didn't really like those films, that universe.
Okay, so you're not a Snyder fan, like the hardcore people, yeah. That's good.
It was too dark and serious, but they didn't need to throw it out. They just could have.
Yeah, but suspend disbelief. Well, Snyder Man of Steel was pretty much real life, so what are you talking about suspend disbelief?
Reworked it, kept Cavill, kept Gal Gadot, kept the characters the actors had already invested in.
Wouldn't that confuse the audience? It's like, oh, why are these the same actors, but they act completely different than the last time? It would definitely confuse people, right?
As the characters, and just tweak the universe, brighten up a little bit, made it a bit more fun, not quite so serious.
Yeah, but it would confuse everybody. The general audience, which the general audience is the main moneymaker.
They could have changed that universe, just, moved from the Snyderverse to just, the DC universe. They could have.
No, that would confuse people, and this Superman movie is gonna be a 4-quadrant film, which means that the movie's gonna be made for a general audience, for everybody to enjoy.
Done that. Instead of throwing it all out, starting all over again with one guy in charge, they're treating like God.
No, they're not. They're treating Zack Snyder like a god.
And if he doesn't, get it right, the whole universe has to be done again. The more and more you do this, the less credibility, each one has, each
It seems like you're expecting it to fail.
copy of a copy. It's just a mess, and it's just. I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think of this latest disaster and the ongoing epic disaster that is going to be, James Gunn's Superman.
It seems like you're expecting it. It is a weird thing to this, but this is what I commented. I commented this entire thing. You can I'm gonna slowly show these. And there you go. Just doing this so that you can read it. But yeah. And you're not correct. Gunn knows Peacemaker is not the DCU. Epic Rider within DC fan. See, some people are really disagreeing with them. Then you will want if you generally like Superman, then you'll want Crypto alongside him. Long overdue, and I'm looking forward to this movie. I bought Silver Age Justice League comic. It's weird, but yeah, some people in this comments disagree with him, which is smart, because what he said doesn't really make sense at all. I don't know where he's coming from, but it is odd.